What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Mathews back at it again with another hometown take. Today I'm talking about the Atlanta Hawks, and it's time to bring back an old trade rumor flame that we've talked about before, but now there's really some smoke to that fire. I'm going to tell you who I'm talking about in just a second, but you know we got to handle some business first, so make sure you like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, check out the link down below. To buy me a coffee to help fuel this channel, help fuel the Atlanta Hawks to a great offseason. Looks like they're trying to pick up a nice, two-way player, a person who can score, play good defense, do it on both ends of the court, and those are the type of dudes we need, along with another superstar next to Trae Young. So it looks like we're trying to check one box off of that list with this here report that's came out. So it looks like the Atlanta Hawks are going to pursue a trade for Detroit Pistons power forward Jerami Grant this offseason. That report is according to Mark Stein, a very good NBA source, NBA reporter. That comes straight from him. And the first time I saw this report actually was from Pat Benson Jr. He is the Atlanta Hawks beat reporter for Sports Illustrated. So shout out to Pat Benson Jr. Shout out to you, Pat. But Mark Stein was first on this report, and Pat Benson Jr. did give him his credit. So again, shout out to Pat. But we've talked about possibly bringing in Jerami Grant before, and I wouldn't be against this at all. I've said in the past, Jerami Grant can get it done on both ends of the floor. There's times where Jerami Grant falls asleep a little bit off ball defensively. He has to be a little bit more aware when he's not directly guarding the ball. But, you can work on that. You can fix that. That's pretty easy. He's a good scorer when he, makes quick decisions, tries to go right to the basket. He's not trying to dribble, do too much, because he's not really a dribbler. He's kind of a straight line, get the ball, maybe pump fake, one move and go. He's really good when he just focuses on hitting one move, going to the rack, and trying to finish that way. When he's trying to dribble, do a little too much ISO stuff, trying to get too cute with the ball, that's when we see turnovers, bad shots, etc. But he can be really, really effective when he's just making one move, gets the ball, makes one move, goes to the basket. He can finish nicely as well. He does have a jumper too, so it's just really for him making a quick decision on offense, not falling asleep off the ball on defense. Jerami Grant is a really good player, and I would be okay with the Atlanta Hawks bringing him in. Now, again, like we've said with De'Andre Ayton or Rudy Gobert, he can't be the only piece that we bring in. Jerami Grant, Trae Young, and company are not getting the job done. They're not winning an NBA title, and that is the next step for the Hawks. We've been to the Eastern Conference Finals. What's next? Winning the Eastern Conference, going to the NBA Finals, and winning an NBA championship. Anything below that, I'm not trying to talk about that. I don't want to hear none of that. It's not about just going to the playoffs every year. It's not about, being contenders every year. No, it's about getting to the finals on a consistent basis, winning an NBA championship every couple of years. That's what the goal is, and that's what kind of team we need to build. And just having Trae Young, Jerami Grant, and company is not that type of team to do those things. So there you go. Let's jump into our very own, well, not our own, I ain't make it, but let's jump into our trade machine. So bada-da-ding, you see it on your screen now. So the only real trade that makes sense is Jerami Grant for John Collins straight up. I went through a couple of different things. I tried to do Danilo and Clint. I tried to do Danilo and Bogey. I tried to do Danilo and DeLon Wright. None of those work. Money-wise, it just doesn't work. The only trade that makes sense and works money-wise is just John Collins for Jerami Grant straight up. Now, maybe we could probably give them a future first-round pick, or they could give us a future first-round pick, what have you. So there you go. That would be the trade, though. That would be the skeleton of the trade, is just Jerami Grant for John Collins straight up. Now, let's talk about if we do get Jerami Grant, the logistics of the contract, because that is something we do kind of have to touch on. So Jerami Grant is heading into the final deal of the final deal. Jerami Grant is heading into the final year of his contract, so he will be an unrestricted free agent in the 2023 season. So after the 2022-2023 season, he will be an unrestricted free agent after signing a 3-year, $60 million deal with the Detroit Pistons. Basically, if we bring in Jerami Grant, we trade for Jerami Grant, we're going to have to sign him after this season because we are going into the 2022-2023 season. So after this year, we have to sign him to a long-term deal, or he'd be an unrestricted free agent and he could go wherever he pleased. So that's the thing. If we're going to bring in Jerami Grant, what kind of money are we going to sign him to? You know, is it another 3-year, $60 million deal for Jerami Grant? Is he going to want more? That's the thing. How much is Jerami Grant really worth? How much are the Hawks willing to pay Jerami Grant? Are you going to want to overpay for Jerami Grant? You know, you definitely don't want to overpay for anybody, especially a dude like Jerami Grant. While he's a good player, he's not a real difference maker on your team. So that's another question for the Hawks. You know, not just are you willing to get him, but are you willing to give up the assets to get him, and are you willing to pay him after this season? So that's something the Hawks have to think about as well. So there's a lot going into this conversation, a lot that goes into trying to bring a guy like Jerami Grant in who has an expiring contract. So we'll see. I don't think it would necessarily hurt the Hawks to bring him in on a 1-year rental, because say we give the Detroit Pistons John Collins and we get Jerami Grant for a first-round pick, or their first-round pick for this year. We could draft a power forward, or we do have Jalen Johnson waiting in the wings. So if we don't end up paying Jerami Grant, hopefully we'll be ready to slide Jalen Johnson into that starting power forward role, or we can just go draft another power forward if Jalen Johnson isn't the guy, but hopefully Jalen Johnson can be that power forward. But maybe they want to play Jalen Johnson more of the 3 spot, so they are going to draft another 4. So there's a couple of options that you have here. You could do nothing. You could trade for Jerami Grant, sign him to a long-term deal. You could trade for Jerami Grant, let him walk after a year. If you don't like the fit, draft his replacement. Or you could trade for Jerami Grant, do the 1-year rental thing, see how it works out. Say it doesn't work out, and then you draft, or then you throw Jalen Johnson into that spot and just draft another dude. So Hawks have a couple of options here when it comes to the Jerami Grant scenario. Let me know what you guys think is best. Again, no matter if we get Jerami Grant or not, there's gonna have to be more than one move. Like, unless you're telling me you're bringing in a Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, a Bradley Beal, and even just making those moves, just having Trae Young, that guy, and then, you know, John Collins and the rest of your team, I don't know that's enough, because we need some better defenders as well. We need some more two-way type of players. So I don't even think if you bring in a Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, Bradley Beal, I'm not sure if that still is enough. Now, that'll be a lot better and you will make a lot more noise, but as far as winning a championship goes, I'm not sure that would be enough. You know, you got to bring in some more two-way players. You got to bring in some better defenders. You know, you got the shooting to go around them, so that would be fine, but you still need to get better defensively, in my opinion. But we'll see. So as far as Jerami Grant goes, the Hawks have some options. Do you want to trade for him? Are you going to sign him to a long-term deal? If and when you trade for him, what do, Hawks? And then again, if you bring Jerami Grant in, what other moves are you making? Because that definitely isn't enough on itself, which just having Trae Young, Jerami Grant company. So we'll see, guys. But let me know how you're feeling about this trade. Do you like the idea of bringing Jerami Grant in? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell so you get my content as soon as I drop it. You can be the first one to like it. You can be the first one to comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So make sure your notification bells are turned on and popping, yeah. But again, like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel. Until Until I talk to you guys next time, make sure you stay true to Atlanta, believe in Atlanta, go Hawks. Peace.